Josina Anderson, who covers the NFL, I honestly am not sure for who at this point, and I can't tell from her Twitter bio, but she's been at a bunch of places, including CBS recently. She reports that Dorance Armstrong will be out indefinitely with the knee injury that he suffered yesterday in Dallas. Remember, he didn't practice and was questionable with a hamstring. Then he played in the game and in the first quarter left. He was averaging a sack per game, had 6 sacks through 6 games. Go back to the playoffs where he was awesome last year, and it was 9.5 or so sacks through 9 games. Dorance Armstrong, hurt and out indefinitely, according to Josina Anderson, will await more word from the team. He apparently is seeking a second opinion for answers on when he can come back and what that looks like.
He only played 4 snaps yesterday on defense before departing. So you could tell he wasn't right before this, and now you add this in. Again, just the list keeps piling up.
You could also tell how much he was missed, I thought. Now, Jacob Martin did some really good things as a pass rusher. Von Miller had a couple of good reps, wasn't overly noticeable, ended up with a half sack in the game, hit the quarterback a couple of times. But it goes without saying, Danny, their best rusher so far this year, and it's not close, has been Dorance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Who through 3 games led the NFL in pressures and hits on the QB. And he's already got career highs in a bunch of categories, not even at the midway point. So if he is out for an extended period of time, a defense that can't afford to lose a good pass rusher because they're not consistent enough rushing the passer is in a worse way. But Dan Quinn will speak about that today. We'll let you know what he says. Let's get to the phones, 800-636-1067. The question, Danny, what are you most upset about from yesterday?
How easy it was for Dallas. That's the thing I just can't abide. Their offense is really good. They're going to move the football and score points on anybody. I need some resistance. I need you to make it at least challenging at times. It looked like whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. I really believe, had it been a back and forth game, they could have scored 60 points in this game. I really believe that. Had they gone a little more tempo, had they not been bleeding the clock the entire second half, whatever they wanted to get, they got. And then the other side, this is another thing that drives me crazy. Go back to the Chicago game, why I was so pissed off about that one. A group that comes in with a reprehensibly, easy for me to say, bad run defense. Like all-time worst type stuff. You got RJ Choppy comes on with us on Friday going, yeah, they can't stop the run. I don't know. I would just run it against them all the time. They brought in Kenny Clark to stop the run. That hadn't helped. They can't stop the run. Shoving it on you, knocking you around. Cosme gets blasted everywhere. Biotish gets knocked around. They couldn't move the football on the ground. And it was like everyone knows what's coming. It was way too easy for Dallas. That's the part that I just can't abide.
26th in EPA against the run defensively. And I was loud wrong on this too because I thought they'll be able to run the ball on the Cowboys. They'll do whatever they want. Now, to some extent, what you saw was more man coverage about 48% of the time. They were the lowest man coverage using team defensively in the league because they didn't think that Robbie Anderson or Chris Moore or Luke McCaffrey or Jalen Lane was going to be able to win. But the fact is, they had 4 runs in this game against 4-man fronts, and they had 4 yards on those runs.
Yeah.
So people will chalk this up to like, oh, it's a receiver thing, and they stacked the box. Not really. In fact, I charted it. I went back and watched the All-22 today. Early on, when Bill was cooking, 7-man front, they got 8 on the first play of the game, or 7 yards against 8. They got 8 against 8 with linebackers sucking up to play the run on the second run of the game. So that was 15 yards with 8 guys coming downhill into the box. They stopped being able to run, and oftentimes it was against 4. That's an O-line issue. I didn't think Cosme played at the level he will a month from now coming back from the injury. That was pretty noticeable. And I actually thought their center, Tyler Biotish, who's been really good for the majority of the last couple of seasons, struggled on the inside with whoever was in front of him. I mean, at times it was even Solomon Thomas that was giving him some fits. Let's go to James in Calvert County on Grant and Danny. James, most frustrating part of yesterday?
Oh, everything you just said, man. Just, it's tough to take a loss like that to the Cowboys. I'm almost 60. I remember the glory days, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Well, that actually could be the answer, that it was the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's on my list of things.
If it was 44-22 and it's the Chiefs this week or the Seahawks after that on Sunday Night Football, the fact that it's Dallas, America's 4 o'clock window with everybody watching, probably 25 million people tuned in, that's a possible answer. By the way, my answer, my biggest frustration with that game and the thing that bothered me most was the start. again, this is such a huge game, and I know you've got some injuries, but that's all the more reason with a lot of dudes elevated and getting these opportunities to get off to a fast start. And on defense, you gave up a touchdown on 5 plays. On special teams, you gave up a 30-plus yard kick return right out of the chute. And on offense, you went 3 and out. All 3 phases right away. First chance to impact the game. Every week, it seems like that's happening.
Climbing out of a hole.
Charles in Temple Hills, you're on G&D. What's up?
I'm literally just getting back from the airport from the game.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah. My little brother's in Houston, and we drove 4 hours to get there. And, top notch. For the live event, and then it came game time and went down from there. And, of course, I got heckled to death by Cowboy fans, which we deserve it. We deserve it.
You're like, I'll wear that.
I mean, come on. They ain't give me nothing. They ain't give me nothing to argue. My little brother tried to hang in there like, look, I'm not doing it. I'm 64 years old. I've seen the ups and downs. I'm not going to get too upset. Had a good time hanging out with some other Commander fans tailgating. So, other than the money I spent at the hotel, and it is what it is, I'm not going to get that upset. But, it was like a slow drip that you couldn't stop.
Thanks, buddy. Let's go to Kevin, who's in Arlington on the Fan. Kevin, most frustrating part of a 22-point division loss yesterday?
Boys, how are you? Thanks for taking my call. And I never did, so I hope I can get a little bit of time here. I have a micro and a macro. The micro is when you perform as poorly as Marshawn Lattimore has performed, you have to go to the bench. There has to be a benching. And I'm not saying that, all we have to do is move Mikey to the boundary. No, I and the thought were good. But you know what? We were pretty good at that last year, and we didn't have Amos on the other side. I'd really like to see it. That's my micro. My macro, and it really comes from Coach Quinn at the podium. On the one hand, I love his candor, but he was shell-shocked. The self-scout that this organization did this offseason has completely missed the mark. It has. You kind of hinted at it earlier, Grant, with your comment about Johnny Newton, et cetera. Listen, here's the thing. Forget about the clock that's on the rookie contract. Go back to being what you wanted to be initially. You wanted to be a draft and develop team. Stop sending away draft picks. Trade whatever value you can at the deadline. We're not going to the playoffs. And get back to this is going to be a gradual build because the Rivera tax is real. Thank you, boys, for taking my call.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's, we talked about this. It's not exactly analogous, but it's not too far off. Almost the worst thing that can happen is the expectations are so sky high based on a magical ride in your first year. What does that sound like? Right? That Rivera era, maybe it influenced how they were building and their decision making. Normally, you look at a depleted, bombed out roster and go, yeah, we should probably tear this thing down to the studs and really start building. Sorry, we got magical fairy dust on this thing. We're on an unbelievable ride. Watch what we can do. So you kind of try to make those good times continue. It's coming crashing down right now. You're paying the price. This is the weight gain from all those donuts.